Welcome back to the EchoPsych. Today, we're diving into a truth that's as universal as it is painful. The people we love the most are often the ones who have the power to hurt us the deepest. It's a paradox, isn't it? The very individuals who bring us immense joy, comfort, and a sense of belonging can, at times, become the source of our most profound sorrow. Think about it. We build our lives around these connections, our partners, family, closest friends. We open our hearts, share our vulnerabilities, and invest our trust. And it's precisely this deep investment, this profound emotional bond, that creates the fertile ground for deep hurt. It's not the stranger on the street who can shatter your world. It's the one you've invited into your innermost sanctuary. In this video, we'll explore why this phenomenon occurs, delve into the different ways this pain manifests, and, most importantly, discuss how we can navigate these challenging dynamics without losing ourselves or our capacity for love.
So, why does this happen? Why are the ones we cherish also the ones who can inflict such significant pain? It boils down to a few core reasons. 1. Unprecedented trust and openness. We give the people we love access to parts of ourselves no one else sees. Our hopes, our fears, our deepest insecurities. This vulnerability is essential for intimacy, but it also leaves us exposed. When that trust is breached, whether intentionally or unintentionally, the wound goes far deeper than if it came from someone we barely know. 2. High expectations. We naturally have higher expectations for those we love. We expect them to understand us, to prioritize us, to treat us with a certain level of care and respect. When these expectations aren't met, the disappointment is amplified by the depth of our emotional investment. It feels like a betrayal of the bond itself, not just a misstep. 3. Shared history and emotional baggage. Over time, relationships accumulate a shared history. Good times, bad times, unresolved conflicts. Old wounds can resurface, often triggered by new disagreements. The weight of this shared past can make current hurts feel heavier and more complex. We might project past experiences onto present interactions, leading to misunderstandings and heightened emotional responses. 4. Interdependence. In deeply loving relationships, our well-being often becomes intertwined with another's. Their actions directly impact our happiness, our sense of security, and even our identity. When they falter, or when the relationship faces strain, it shakes the very foundation of our emotional world. This interdependence, while beautiful, also makes us incredibly susceptible to their actions and choices.
The hurt we're talking about isn't always a dramatic betrayal. It can manifest in countless subtle yet profoundly impactful ways. Emotional neglect, unfulfilled promises, critical words, the devastating breach of trust, differing life paths, or even unintentional pain stemming from dysfunctional patterns. 1. Emotional neglect and disregard. Sometimes the deepest pain comes not from what someone does, but what they don't. A lack of emotional presence, dismissiveness, or consistently putting others first can erode our sense of worth within the relationship. It's the feeling of being unseen, unheard, or unvalued by the person who should cherish you most. 2. Unfulfilled promises and disappointments. From small, broken promises to significant letdowns, these can chip away at trust and create a sense of disillusionment. When a loved one consistently fails to follow through, it communicates a lack of care or reliability that can be incredibly hurtful. 3. Critical words and unkind actions. Words from those we love carry immense weight. A harsh criticism, a sarcastic remark, or a thoughtless action from a loved one can sting far more than the same words from a stranger. They know our weaknesses, our insecurities, and their words can hit those vulnerable spots with precision. 4. Betrayal of trust. This is often the most devastating form of hurt. Whether it's infidelity, revealing a secret, or going back on a deeply held agreement, a breach of trust can feel like the ultimate violation. It shatters the foundation of the relationship and leaves deep scars that are incredibly difficult to heal. 5. Differing life paths and priorities. Sometimes the hurt isn't about malicious intent, but simply a divergence in life paths. Growing apart from a best friend, a sibling choosing a path you don't understand, or a partner's dreams conflicting with your own. These can lead to a deep sense of loss and pain, even if no one is at fault. 6. Unintentional hurt from dysfunctional patterns. Often, our loved ones hurt us not because they intend to, but because they're caught in their own patterns or struggles. This might involve addiction, unaddressed trauma, or unhealthy communication styles inherited from their own past. Understanding this doesn't erase the pain, but it can provide context.
So, what do we do when the people we love the most cause us pain? It's a challenging journey, but one that's crucial for our emotional well-being. First, acknowledge and validate your pain. The first step is to allow yourself to feel the hurt. Don't minimize it, don't rationalize it away immediately. Your feelings are valid. Journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or seeking therapy can be incredibly helpful in processing these emotions. Next, communicate openly and honestly, if safe to do so. When appropriate and safe, express your feelings to the person who hurt you. Use I statements to describe how their actions impacted you rather than accusatory language. For example, instead of "you always ignore me," try "I felt unheard when." The goal isn't to assign blame, but to foster understanding and potentially find a path to resolution. Then set boundaries. This is critical. Healthy boundaries protect your emotional space and communicate your needs. It might mean saying no, limiting certain interactions, or clearly defining what you will and will not tolerate. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about protecting the relationship and yourself. Also, practice self-compassion. When deeply hurt, we often turn critical of ourselves. Remember that experiencing pain from loved ones is a normal part of the human experience. Be kind to yourself. Extend the same understanding you would give to a friend in a similar situation. Try to understand their perspective without excusing behavior. While it's vital to validate your own feelings, trying to understand why the other person acted as they did can sometimes provide context. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you process the situation and move towards forgiveness if that's a path you choose. Consider forgiveness for yourself and others. Forgiveness isn't about condoning the behavior that caused pain. It's about releasing yourself from the burden of resentment and anger. It's a process, not a single event. Sometimes you might need to forgive the person, and sometimes you might need to forgive yourself for putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Finally, know when to distance or end a relationship. While we strive to heal and repair, there are times when the repeated pattern of hurt becomes too damaging. If a relationship is consistently toxic, abusive, or detrimental to your mental health, it might be necessary to create distance or even end the connection. This is an act of self-preservation, not a failure.
The reality that the people we love the most can also hurt us the deepest is a tough pill to swallow. It makes us question love, trust, and even our own judgment. But it's also a testament to the incredible depth of our capacity for connection. The very intensity of our love creates the potential for profound pain. Yet, despite this risk, we continue to open our hearts. We continue to seek out deep connections, because the joy, the growth, and the profound sense of belonging that comes from truly loving and being loved are indispensable to the human experience. Navigating these complex emotional landscapes requires courage, self-awareness, and a commitment to protecting our own well-being. It teaches us about resilience, about the importance of boundaries, and about the enduring power of forgiveness, both for others and for ourselves. So while the wounds from those closest to us may sting the most, they also offer the most profound lessons. They teach us what we value, what we need, and ultimately, how strong we truly are. Thank you for joining me on this deeply personal journey today. What are your thoughts on this topic? Have you experienced this paradox in your own life? Share your reflections in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, please give the video a like and subscribe for more conversations about the human experience. Until next time, take care.